Hello and welcome to Unpreachy, a podcast from St. John Chrysostom Parish. Today, Father Brian Zumbrum reflects on Luke chapter 23, verses 1 to 49, the Passion of the Lord, the Gospel reading for Palm Sunday, April 13th, 2025.
You know, it's always interesting to me what hits you when you listen to this familiar retelling of a story that is at the very heart of our faith as a Christian people. And for some reason this year, I couldn't help but notice how this gospel is so prophetic about how we handle another person's pain. For let's be real, being in the presence of another who is in pain is excruciatingly difficult. When someone's at the bottom of the well of depression and light doesn't seem to reach them, and their weight of their pain feels like it suffocates you both. When someone's heart has been fractured and we stand powerless as they keep asking why. When someone has buried a piece of who they are and the yawning hole of their grief is unfillable. It all feels too much. That's why I think it's so easy to become like so many of the figures in the Passion narrative we've just heard. We can become like Peter, uttering cheap words of comfort, confident that we understand what they're going through, that we know exactly what it is like to carry their cross. Or we can be like Peter and just deny that the pain is real, that this situation is really happening. We can be like the disciples in the garden, ready to rush into action, to solve, to fix, to make it all go away, even when we have no power to do so. Or we can withdraw, close our eyes, go to sleep, leave the other person adrift in the sea of their own pain. We can be like the crowds, minimizing and belittling another's pain, questioning whether or not they deserve the cross they're carrying, judging whether or not someone has the right to feel what they feel. Or we can be like that one thief, so entrapped in our own pain, we're incapable of seeing the pain in another. So many models of what to do with pain that aren't exactly great. But then at the very end, at the last paragraph of the gospel, we're given true models of Christian discipleship, examples of what it should look like to share another's cross and another's pain. And we find it in those nameless women standing at the foot of the cross, unable to so much as wipe his face or speak a word, but they're there, standing by his side, by his cross, bearing witness to his pain, bearing witness to his life that he mattered. Even in the lowest of moments, when all hope seems lost, when the darkness is seemingly triumphed, when all of the other disciples have fled, they remain stronger than pain, stronger than death. It is their love, a love that remains, a love that persists, a love that stands next to all the brokenness and the bitterness, the grief and the loss and the heart-rending pain, and refuses to leave, refuses to look away, refuses to minimize or rationalize, but simply stays. My friends, everywhere you look, there are people enduring their own Good Fridays, whose pain is palpable and profound. What will we do as we gaze upon them nailed to the cross before us? Who will we choose to be in the face of their pain? Stay and keep watch, my friends, for their hour has come. May God be praised.
Unpreachy is a production of St. John Chrysostom Parish in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Visit us at sjcparish.org. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. This podcast was produced by Brendan Lorden with music by Skytoes on Upbeat. Thanks for listening. Be well.